Hi, and thank you for using iHerd for your properties. My name is Mitchell Harris and I'm the Creative Director for the iHerd Ag Suite project. Today I'll take you through the Movements module. The Movements module is designed to give you more control of your movements and treatments, and to make it easier to do more complex movements such as moving multiple mobs through multiple treatments to multiple destinations. Let's get started. When you first enter this screen, you're likely to see this pop up, which gives you a basic instruction on how to use the Movements module. I'll go into a little more detail for you. As you can see, we've got 3 columns: the source, treatments, and destination. The source column allows you to add mobs that you want to move. The treatments column allows you to add treatments that you want to apply to your mobs. And the destination allows you to add different destinations, be it a paddock, lost, sold, or death. I'm using an iPad to demonstrate this, but the difference between the iPad and the iPhone is that on the iPhone you only see one column at a time, and you need to swipe between each column. And when you drag items, you drag them to the side of the screen to move them to the next column. Okay, so let's jump right into a movement. Let's just say I've gone out and purchased 50 cattle. In here we enter the new purchase item. Now all of these 3, new found, new purchase and newborn, will present you with the add mob screen. This may look familiar to some from iHerd. You can enter your 50 cattle in here, or use the plus and minus buttons to tally them up. We'll set our movement type to purchase. You can set a breed. This will be Brangus. You can set a group, which I won't do at this stage. And you can enter your seller's name, email, and waybill number. But I'm just initially setting up my property at the moment. I've already got 50 cattle in there, so I'll just create it as an initial setup. And that's added it up here into our source. You can see it's got 50 head there. Now I'm going to be creating a treatment group. I'll click New Treatments Group, and I'm going to be getting my products from the Thistledome Station cabinet. So I'm going to change that there by tapping on Property and choosing. I'll hit Done. Now I'm going to add a treatment. And I'm going to change my product to Sidectin injection. And you can see here that I've got 50 10ml doses left. So I'll select that. I'll enter the dose amount of 10 milliliters as suggested there. I could, if it was a dip, choose total and apply the entire amount there. But for now I'm just going with per head. So I'll select Done. And I'm going to add another treatment. Let's say the Arrest Easy dose. I've got 6 3-litre doses left. So I'm going to make that a total amount of 3 litres. And Done. And Done again. Now I can create a group name here if I'd like. We can call that Initiation. And we'll save that. So now we have an initiation treatment group here. Now I'm going to choose a destination to put my new cattle in. So we click on Choose Destination. And this is still set to Thistledome South, so I'm going to change that to Thistledome Station, which is where we're working from. And I'm going to put them into the northern grazing field. So now I've created myself a destination here. Now to move this cattle through these groups, all I need to do is click and hold until I pick it up and drag it over each item. So I drop that in there and that will apply the initiation treatment group to it. You can see that in green. And I can pick that up and drop it into the destination. Now to complete the movement, I just click on the move button up the top here. And it asks me if I'm definitely wanting to move this, and I'm going to say continue to approve that. So now that has cleared the screen and allowed me to create another movement. So that's how we make a simple movement. Now I'm going to show you a few little tricks and advantages with using this new interface. When we choose a mob, we can simply select one from this list, or we can select this little button up here and select multiple mobs. And a little tip here is if you drag down, you can select all mobs within one paddock. So if I move those, that will put them both into my source. Now let's say that I want to split this group of 80 into two. I can just tap on that group and enter a new value. Let's say 50 for now. And that will split that into two there. One advantage of using this interface is that we can create multiple treatment groups and destinations. So I'm going to create a new treatment group. Now this property doesn't have any cabinet in it. So if I try to add a treatment from here, it will tell me that I don't have any containers available. But that's okay. We can change that property to our Thistledome station, which is where we've got our treatment cabinet, and add a treatment from there. So I'm just going to select one of these, give it a random value for now, and I don't need to enter a group name here if I don't want to. I can just hit save just to speed things up, and it gives it a default name of treatment group 1. I can create a second treatment group here as well. And this allows me to drag multiple groups through different treatments and then on to destinations. And I'll create a few different destinations here. Now you can see here that I've removed a mob. And I can choose whether that was loss, death, or sale. So let's say I've decided that I don't want to make this movement. I'm going to click on this edit button up here, and that allows me to delete any of these items. If I delete a group that has mobs in it, that will remove the mobs and move them back to the source. If I remove a mob from within a group, it will bring up a delete button here, which will also send it back to the source. Now I can edit treatments from in here. I can also edit destinations just by clicking on them. And I can change the details as necessary. I'm going to delete these now. Now if I remove a mob that has been divided, let's say the Brayford here, that's split from the first mob here. If I remove that one, that will send it back up into that group. So that's now 80 head there. So I could continue that movement, hit done, and move them forward again. But for now, I'm going to remove them all. Also, if I remove the original mob, that would have removed both parts of that mob from the whole movement. Okay, so now we're going to do another movement that's a little more complex than the previous one, just to show what can be done with this interface. Let's start with the 50 cattle that we had in the Thistledome station. And let's say we want to sell 20 of those and move another 10 to a paddock just in preparation for selling later. So we'll split that up into the 20. So we now have our 20 there and 30 left over. And we'll split our 30 up into another 10 for moving into another paddock. But we find as we're moving that we've got one dead. So we'll take one of those out of there and we can move those into death. But we've also found that we've had one newborn. So we'll create a newborn mob here. One. It's got a movement type of birth. It's a little Brangus. And we'll add it to a newborn group, just so we've got that indicated. So that's done. Now we've got a bit of a problem here in that we've got some duplicate mobs. We've got a 20 here and a 20 here, a 1 here and a 1 here. Now this one's distinguished by it being a newborn in a group, but if we didn't have that, how would we know the difference? So we've got these arrows down the side here, and if we click on those, that will give us some information about that mob. So you can see this mob here is a birth. So that's the one that we just created. Whereas this one, it says it's one of 50. So that was a part of the group, a part of the original mob. And that also gives us some information about the source and the paddock that it came from and any group that it was a part of. So now that we've got it split up, I'll show you a few tricks to get this movement happening a bit quicker. So we'll start by moving our newborn Brangus straight on top of a new treatment group because we need to give him a treatment. It's in the Thistledome station. And we'll add our treatment just a Cydectin. Of 10 mil. Okay. So now we'll move our newborn into a new destination, which will be the southern grass on our other property. And we'll move our other 9 into there as well. We may as well give them the same treatment. So now let's have a look at the details on that mob that we've just moved. Now you can see that it has moved. It's a movement type. It's 9 of 50, so it's a part of the original group. We've got the same source there, Thistledome Station, Northern Grazing Field, but now we've also got the destination, which is the Thistledome South property with paddock, southern grass, and no group. And treatments down here as well. So I'm going to apply a group to this as well. So I can click on group there and add a new group, and we'll call it next feedlot. And we've got a natural increase option here as well, which I'll leave off. We'll save that. Select next feedlot and save that information. So now we've changed the group of that 9 and it's ready to go in with the other newborn. Now let's move the rest of these as well. So 20 of these were to go to sale. So I'll drag them into sold. And we apply the purchaser details. And we could apply some notes here as well. So we'll save that. And we'll move our dead one into death. And save. So we can leave this last 20 mob here because it's not moving anywhere. It will still be considered as a movement, but it won't move anywhere. It'll stay in the same place. So I'll just click on movement here and continue to approve it. Well, that's it for this tutorial. I hope this has given you some idea of how to use the movements module. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via the help system in the app or from our website at www.iherd.com. iHerd.com.au and check out our other videos for help on other topics.